Algebra 2, Chapter 2, Review Sheet, Type A problems. The prompt for this one was determine if the following relations are a function by creating either a mapping diagram or applying the vertical line test. For one of these problems, the first one, I'm going to do the vertical line test, and for the second problem, I'm going to make a mapping diagram, and from those I'm going to determine whether these relations represent a function or not. You're responsible for knowing how to do both for your tests. For the purposes of this video, I'm just going to show one for each. Okay. Here we have our relation. I just copied it from the review sheet, and I'm going to show you how you apply the vertical line test to determine if this is a function or not. First thing you have to do is plot all the points. These are all ordered pairs. They are points in the coordinate plane. Points determine a location. So what we go ahead and do is plot -3, 5. Go to the left, -3, up 5. Here's that first point. Okay, 2, 0 is over here, second point. 4, 2, right here, that's your third point. -1, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's that fourth point, 0, 0, also known as the origin, is right there. And 1, 4, which would be right here. Okay, going left to right, what you want to do is go ahead and I like to draw lines. Okay, like connect the dots almost, just really roughly connect the dots going left to right, or connect the points going left to right. And then what you do is you look at the line you drew. This line represents a graph, and you determine by using a vertical line like your pencil, and what I mean by a vertical line is a straight up and down line. If there's any point that hits more than once, it's not a function. So vertical line intersects once. If I draw a vertical line anywhere along my graph I just created, this is a function. If the vertical vertical line intersects more than once, not a function. Okay, not a function. So two things for the vertical line test, and this is the vertical line test. Okay, and the reason the vertical line test works is a definition of a function is a relation that is one-to-one. For every input there's exactly one output, and if you have more than one intersection with a vertical line, that means for a certain input of x there was 2 y values, or more, 2 or more y values that came out from the relation. Okay, anyways, let's keep going, and we're going to do number 2, and I'm going to show you how to do a mapping diagram. The way you do a mapping diagram is you develop 2 vertical ovals, one for the left side and one from the right side. The left side represents the domain, the right side represents the range or the output values, domain the input values. And then another way to think of this is all your x values, here's all your y values. And what you go ahead and do is to develop what numbers go in your oval, just look at the x values for each of these points. I have 2, 1, -1, 1, 4, -11. And just make sure none of them repeat. Well, I saw I have 2 1s. I'm going to go ahead and just erase one of the 1s. Okay? You don't want to have a double in the domain or the range. Then going over here, I have my range. I just use my y values, 3, 2, 0, 5, 3, 37, and I list them here. Okay, and then after you list them, you look for any doubles. Well, I have a double 3, so I'm just going to erase one of the 3s. Okay, like so. That's why I use a pencil, not a pen. And you just go map by mapping with an arrow. 2 and 3 map to each other, so I'm going to make an arrow from 2 to 3. 1 goes to -2, so I got 1 going to, or +2, sorry, +2, it's early. And -1 going to 0, or mapping to 0. 1 mapping to 5, 4 mapping to 3, negative 11 mapping to 37. And the way you determine if, after you made this mapping diagram, if it's the relation's a function or not is I like to cover up the range. I don't even look at the range. I just look at the domain or the x values. If you see that an arrow or more than one arrow starts from any element in the domain, what I mean by element are all these numbers in the domain, then that means that it's not a one-to-one relation, it's not a function. So look for example 1. 1 has 2 arrows starting at it. That means 1 maps to 2 and also 5. 1 went into my function machine and out came 2 things. That's not a one-to-one relationship. Out came 2 and 5. That is not a one-to-one relationship, not a function, so this is not a function. Okay.